Hi! I just finished reading The Hobbit, and I just dropped it on the floor. um, I read The Hobbit first when I was in late elementary school, probably. So I didn't really remember much of it. I thought that I remembered a lot more of it than I did, and I kept reading it and being like, what's happening? I don't remember this happening. But obviously, the movie is coming out in December, and so I wanted to reread it, kind of in preparation for that, and because my friends and I have been on a Lord of the Rings kick lately. So what you need to know about The Hobbit is that it really is a children's book. Um, Despite the fact that it's, fat and stuff, it's a children's book, and it's written very simply. Even if it took a kid a long time to read it, they could read it and they could understand it. And so in that respect, I don't think it's as good as the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I'm also going to be rereading soon. But it's still great, but I think that the audience it's aimed at is a little younger, and so it's a little bit less epic, it just is. But I love Tolkien, and I think there's a lot to be learned from his books. There's lessons about treasure and not being hypnotized by treasure and things like that. And I think that I would definitely recommend that you read this before the movie, because I believe strongly that you should always read the book before the movie. But if you want to wait, that's also okay. I feel like I had misremembered The Hobbit of being better than it actually is, which is not to say that it isn't great. So it's a good book, not as good as I remembered it being, and not as good as the trilogy, but I would recommend it. I would recommend it to children as young as elementary school, because that's when I read it, and I didn't have any problems understanding it at all, and I don't think that any kid in elementary school would have problems. And it's not a very high reading level either, it's just long. So I would highly recommend it to anyone and everyone.